Hey gang, this is Andy over at the Facebook Live TV show, and I'm live coming to you from Brea, California. And we have it's going to be this is a mandatory broadcast that I'm having because the platform of LinkedIn, of which we're going to be talking about, is for some reason a mystery to me. And I've used it. I have a profile. I know I should be using it a little bit more effectively. And so I thought this would be a great subject matter to talk about on the Facebook Live TV show, is about another social media platform. And the only person I can think of that would know what to do and know how to tell us how to do it would be Tracey Enos. No, I did it. Enos, right? Oh yeah. My gosh. I said Enos after you just told me how to pronounce your name. Tracy, how the heck are you coming from? Is it Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City?
Missouri, yes. Okay. Yeah, we border to Kansas, but on the Missouri side.
Yeah. So, Tracy, how you been, number one?
I'm fantastic, Andy. Thank you for having me.
We've known each other and kind of been in the same circles for a few years with the Mike Koenig's group and all the people down there. But I just have not seen you in a while. I miss you.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm busy. I'm underground.
Oh, really? Well, come out from under the ground, because we need you to talk and tell us a little bit about LinkedIn. So before we get started, can you tell all of us a little bit of why we should even listen to you about LinkedIn? See, I almost said Facebook, about LinkedIn.
Well, I mean, I got lots of reasons, but I've been doing this for 6 years solely. Well, actually, not completely. I've been doing the marketing and using LinkedIn for 6 years, but I didn't start doing the coaching and consulting until that's where I met you. Andy was at Mike Koenig's The Publish and Profit about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah,
September 2014. Right. And so I got a hot seat there, and Ed Rush, Mike Koenig's, Paul Colligan, and Pam Hendrickson in all of 7 minutes dashed my dreams of local marketing and told me to fire all my clients and write a book and do some LinkedIn coaching. Yeah. And I haven't looked back since.
Really? Yeah, they have a knack for doing that for all of us. They did the same thing to me about 7 years ago and completely changed the trajectory of my life. My life. So they're people that need to be listened to. And the good news is they sent you in this LinkedIn direction. And so you've had success with the LinkedIn platform and doing what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, because of that foundation that I built prior to 2015, had it not, my business would have folded, and I probably would have had to go find a job. Could have probably lost my house, got evicted, but and I had a rough year in 2015. All started in the spring with stage 4 sprain in my ankle, which is, I guess, worse than a break, doc says.
Oh, wow.
3 months in physical therapy. My dog did something to his disc. Easter Sunday, I did mine on the Good Friday. And Easter Sunday, he was out playing in the backyard. I come out an hour and a half later, and he's just sitting there looking at me. I'm like, come on, let's go in. 70-pound boxer, and he's just looking at me like, what? And then I could see the pain in his eyes. He couldn't move.
Wow.
He was 70 pounds, and it took all the adrenaline that I could muster up with a bum ankle to carry him back into the house. So yeah, it was awful. And then my beloved uncle passed away a couple months later. My computer got hacked by those so-called Microsoft hackers.
Yeah.
And then I got 3rd-degree burns on July 7th of 2015. So I sustained burns. So I had 2 surgeries, two grafts in a matter of 72 hours apart from each other, 6 days in the hospital in the burn unit. Went through a bout of some severe anxiety my 3rd day in after being in the hyperbaric chamber. Oh, that was interesting. And I had my first panic attack ever. I've never had a panic attack like that before. It was the scariest thing I've ever experienced, besides the burn, of course. But so all in all, like 5 surgeries in 9 months. It was pretty traumatic. But had it not been for LinkedIn and that foundation and my consistent activity, I probably wouldn't have kept my head above water. Wow. So it's been very instrumental as far as my business is concerned.
Cool. So I guess one of the first questions is why should we be on LinkedIn? Why even bother?
Well, I mean, LinkedIn, first and foremost, what people don't realize, it's older than Facebook.
No, I did not know that.
They started in December of 2003. And it was built for job seekers, hiring agencies, talent recruiters, whatnot, to go and find great, talent to fill, companies' positions and whatnot. But over the years, LinkedIn has really morphed into what it is today. And I think it's, a lot of that is due to the fact that the members, people who are really power users of LinkedIn, are really treating it as a marketing tool than as a place to post your, resume as per se, and using your profile in such a way that it's really, showcasing who you are, not just as a company, but as a person, and what you can, what you do, who you do it for, and how you can serve them, and not come off too salesy or spammy.
So, I'm getting an echo all of a sudden for some reason. Maybe are we back? Yeah, for some reason I'm getting a little bit of an echo, but that's okay. We'll get through it. It'll stop probably pretty soon. So just on the, I guess the easy way of saying it is that really LinkedIn is a business social media platform and Facebook is personal. Is that a good way of putting it, or no?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I know some businesses that do really well in Facebook. I think what people need to do, and this is with anything that they're going to do in marketing, is first identify who your prospect is. And once you can deep dive into who that is, then figure out which platform is best based on where your audience is really hanging out. So for most B2B businesses, LinkedIn is the perfect place to be. And I'm seeing, more and more business to customer businesses that are utilizing LinkedIn and crushing it. It takes a little longer, that way than it does B2B. But, if you know how to do it and you're consistent with it and you're active and people are starting to see your stuff, that's when people start to say, you know what, this person is the expert. They know what they're doing. Maybe I need to have a conversation with them.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think is one of the most common misconceptions about LinkedIn?
I still get this, that it's a place to post your resume, and people treat their profile that way.
Yeah. I think I did.
Yeah. In any networking event that I go to or seminar or whatever, I still get people coming up and going, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't know what to do with it. I think it's just a place to put my resume, but I'm not looking for a job, and I'm like, this platform's been around for a long time. It still floors me, to hear that from folks. So.
All right. So what is one of the first things you need to do with your LinkedIn profile? Like I've had one for years. Which one thing should I look at right now about either changing, fixing, start using because I don't use it enough? What's our first tip for the day that we should be doing?
Well, first of all, this could be another 3-hour session going through that completely, but the profile should be actually structured in a way that it is really, edifying you as a human. A lot of times I see people treating the profile as if it's a company page.
Yep.
Because you're really limited in LinkedIn with company pages, but profiles, 99% of what you do in LinkedIn, you're done with your profile and it travels with you. So like I see your screen. So the first thing people are going to see when you're getting active in LinkedIn is they're going to see your profile photo. Yep. And then they're going to see your name, and then they're going to see your headline. And most people, the misconception is just like you did. I'm treating that headline that I'm the owner at I can't read that.
Keynote speaker at Zero to Hero School.
Yeah, that doesn't tell me that gives me a title. That's great if I'm looking for you as an owner, and you might be my ideal prospect. But if you're the one out there doing the prospecting, you want to treat that, headline in such a way that you're defining who it is that you are working with in all of 120 characters. So you got to get really creative. What is it that you do, and give some sort of benefit, and then of course, what people don't realize is LinkedIn is one big search engine, not as robust as Google, but a lot of people, this is how they search in that search bar at the very top. And so people are going to search for your products and services based off of keywords. So
okay. So it doesn't help me that I made my last name keynote speaker -- broadcaster.
No, and okay, I'm seeing more and more of this, and in fact, I'm seeing some fella out in Australia. I can't remember his name.
Nobby?
No, no. Hi, Nobby. But he's some LinkedIn guru. I don't remember his name, but he's like, you should put, a statement after your name. LinkedIn gives you all these characters. Okay, well, it's all about how you want to run your business. But here's what I say. If somebody is looking for you, Andy, so let's say they met you somewhere, but they can't remember your company name or whatever, they're going to Google you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to Google Andy Falco Jimenez, keynote speaker, broadcaster?
No.
Or are they going to Google Andy Falco?
Yeah.
Now, Google's made some changes, and LinkedIn is considered an authority site in Google. However, you may not show up because you have all this other stuff behind your name. Mm-hmm. And what the other characters behind your name is really designed for is if you have like titles like, DDS, MBA, PhD, those kind of things, And so I'm seeing more and more people use that. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not saying it would hinder you as long as it's done well.
Okay.
So because people are trying to utilize additional characters. 120 characters in your headline is really hard to work with. Many times when I work with clients, we'll sit and brainstorm 10 headlines, and try and get the keywords in there and identify the prospect and what it is that we do for them.
So let me go back. Does LinkedIn put the hold on, I got to find my LinkedIn page. So when I edit, does it put in the owner @ part of it?
No, you're going to go change it. And here pretty soon, LinkedIn just changed their interface last year to this, and they're doing it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
there's going to be a new look to your profiles here pretty soon. They're starting to roll them out. I don't have the new one yet.
Because I don't remember this obviously being what it is.
Yeah, it was. They started making the rollouts in January last year, and then by March, everybody had this new platform, or the new not new platform, but the new interface here.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to change that. Somebody told me to do that a long time ago, so I did that.
Change. Oh, that you were owner?
Yeah. Well, no, make the last name. I think the owner @ I think that was like pre-populated. No, am I wrong on that? Because I don't know.
It is kind of tricky because if you go in your experience section and let's say you type in something else in that headline there, LinkedIn's going to go, is this your job or whatever? And if you're not careful, I always say no, because it'll change your actual headline underneath your name to whatever that is. So this way it gives you an opportunity to have something a little different or expand upon what you already have in your headline underneath your name.
Okay. All right. Let me bring this down so we can be seen again. And so, okay, so I want to make some of those changes. I think somebody just sent me a private message that I have a misspelling, which is not that unusual. I need a tutor to follow me around because I misspell everything. Does Grammarly work in LinkedIn? Because if it wasn't for Grammarly, I wouldn't nobody be able to read even my emails.
I don't think so, but you can write your profile, like your summary, your headlines, and everything like that outside of LinkedIn and copy and paste, and Grammarly will work just fine with your Word docs.
Because I need that. It's a crutch now.
It might work in it. I haven't tried it. I don't use it because it annoys the daylights out of me when I'm trying to write an email. So.
Didn't look like. I'm gonna go to a couple of our comments down here because we got quite a few people watching. Nabi says, I use LinkedIn to connect with a niche target audience who I tend to leverage through.
Yes.
Is that a smart? Nabi's smart, so I knew it was a smart thing that he's doing. But you would suggest somebody to do that?
Absolutely. I mean,
how do you do that?
There's a lot of ways you can approach LinkedIn. First, I need to identify what's your goal. Okay, what's your end goal? So if you're just there to connect with anybody and everybody, then you can connect with anybody and everybody. But where's that going to get you, right? So you get 30,000 lifetime connections, unlimited followers, but it's the connections that you'll be able to actually message one-on-one personally. Mm-hmm. So you want to connect with those folks who are your ideal prospects, okay? So you can kind of define what those demographics are, because LinkedIn has some great filters so that you can find those folks. But a lot of times, especially if you're trying to connect with, let's say, CEOs or high-level suite executives, they're on LinkedIn, but they're not active in LinkedIn. So we start connecting with the people that report to them, their staff members, and then those folks start to see our activity, and we're staying in touch with them as well. And when it ever comes to the weekly meeting, and a lot of times they'll come and they'll sit down with these executives and go, look, we need to, whatever it is, the product or service that you're offering. Like, say, in my example, look, we need to really learn how to use LinkedIn to really, create and fortify our brand and generate new leads for our sales team. And then they go, well, I know just the person because I've been watching her on LinkedIn for a while. We need to, set up a meeting with Tracy. So that's how we typically use LinkedIn. I mean, I have 13,000 connections, and I'm not capped out by any means, but I'm still selective in who I connect with.
Right. Sorry. At the same time, you're talking over there was a dog squeezing a toy that was squeaking. So April points out that either Andy is either never checks his LinkedIn notifications, or he's just that much in high demand. I choose to think that I'm that much in high demand. No, you should see my emails. I got 33,000 emails I haven't read yet either. So I know I'm a horrible person. People don't care about your letters. They care about how you can help them get what they want. So that's a good subject to talk about. Do you want the letters, the PhDs, the LMNOPs behind your name, just so people can see that you, at least on some level, have some training in what it is you're doing? And then you can teach them or show them how you can help them?
I think, Navi's not wrong. He's right. But I think there's specific situations where, it's important. Say, for example, you're a dentist. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's say you've been 40 years in the business, and now you go and you teach other dentists how to grow their practices and retain employees. Okay. And then, and retain clients. Then I think the DDS behind your name really, says, I've been in this business. I've done this for myself. So I'm the expert. Okay. If you're just doing it for, vanity reasons, that's totally up to you. So,
my dad, who's not a doctor, used to say that he was a doctor when he'd get restaurant reservations. He always said, this is Dr. Jimenez, and I need a party of 4. And then he said it always got him a better table. So, yeah, I don't know if it's vanity or just got him a better seat.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, April is great. So I said somebody told me I had some misspelling. It was April, and now she's trying. Who would send you such a message? Well, April Roga would send me such a message.
Well, I'll tell you that misspellings are very common in LinkedIn, and this is what I share with people. Like, if let's say you're looking for a chief executive officer, do you know how many times people misspell chief?
Chef.
Yeah, or the I and the E is backwards, and people don't realize you should actually look for those misspellings that are common to find your ideal client if that's their title. I mean, you could find some gold nuggets in there.
Yeah. The only reason I know how to spell chief is because I was a police officer for 21 years and had to write a lot of letters to the chief. So I'm sorry. I am sorry to beat that man up. I can't say I never did that, but I'm just saying I didn't do it unless he was like a rapist or a child molester. And he pissed me off. That kind of thing happened. So anyway, back to LinkedIn. It's been enough years. It's the statute of limitations. And so what's another misconception about LinkedIn is that you can't, I think that for a period of time, it seemed like it was impossible to message people or something like that. There was some talk about how it was very difficult to really communicate with people on LinkedIn, that you had to get the premium, you had to purchase to get, a higher level.
No, actually, the inbox and messaging has been available to anybody, regardless of what their subscription is in LinkedIn. However, there are some, definite advantages to having a premium account as opposed to a free account in LinkedIn, and they far outweigh the cost, I feel. Anyway, okay. So you want me to cover some of those?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have a free account, you're only able to, you're limited in your filters, first of all. So the free and premium, business premium, you're limited in your filters, although LinkedIn did add a few more for you guys that want to stay on the free or cheap, versions of LinkedIn. But the free...
I'm so sorry. So filters would be that you would be able to target...
Demographic filters, yeah. Like, their postal code, their, first, second, or third connection, their, demographic areas, their title, position, school, that kind of thing.
Okay,
so,
cool.
And then you're only you're only limited in your searches. See, you got me all messed up. So you're limited in your searches, and so what that means, anything you do in LinkedIn is a search. And so I don't really know what that number is. I think it's based off of your activity. 3 years ago, before I upgraded to Sales Navigator, I tested this, and it was like right before I was on the road to go to Denver to speak at a recruiter conference. And I blasted in 2 days. I had exhausted all my searches in 2 days. And it wasn't like I was search king trying to do this. It was just, I'm a power user. And I was like, wow. So I went to this conference and I shared this at the event. And one of the recruiters came up to me later and he goes, yeah, it took me about 2,000 searches before I exhausted mine. So I don't know that algorithm. I mean, it's probably changed since then, but I want to be able to search and do stuff unlimited in LinkedIn. And so you're able to do that with the Business Premium and in Sales Navigator. Also, free accounts, you only get to see 5 people daily that go and check out your profile. So who's viewed your profile. And I want to see everybody in the last 90 days because, I mean, depending on what my activity is, I could find some probably pretty good prospects that I could message in there, or even see some of my first connections that have checked my profile out again. And it gives me an opportunity to start a conversation with them. So if you're on the Business Premium, you're allowed to have that 90 days, and then Sales Navigator as well. But don't let me get into Sales Navigator. That's what I have. And for the cost of it, I mean, it is just an amazing tool. You get a bunch more filters. You can save leads. You can save accounts. You can tag people that you don't have to be connected to them. You can message folks without using an InMail, which you get so many credits based on your Business Premium or Sales Navigator account. That means you can have somebody you're not connected to, and LinkedIn says it's 100% deliverability that they'll get this message in their inbox. So if it's a really kind of, hot prospect, maybe one of your hot 100, and don't have to be connected to them, I would save them for that. But Sales Navigator has the open profiles, or they call it open links, where you can actually go in without using an InMail or being connected to them, and you can send them a message. It's really cool. Really, really cool. But you can't do that in the regular LinkedIn on Business Premium or free.
Okay. That's good to know.
There's so much more that I can talk about that you can do with Sales Navigator. It's just really cool stuff, especially when you upgrade to the team plan. But that's another conversation for another day. That's more on the advanced side of things.
Okay. So then I guess the next question obviously is then when does somebody decide to go from free to paid?
If you really want to ramp up your business, then go to pay to play.
If you want to really start making money.
Yeah, if you want to start making money, pay to play. Yeah, absolutely. So I just really like how Sales Navigator is designed. If also you're using it with a CRM, they actually integrate with Salesforce, the Microsoft Dynamics 365, I think that's what it's called, and HubSpot. You can't do that with the regular LinkedIn. So if you've got a sales team, that's a great way to go.
All right. Well, Mario's on. You predicted all the people that you predicted Nabi would be on, and I should have predicted that Mario would be on. I missed that.
Hi,
Mario. Mario's with us. Super Mario.
I love Mario. He's always the sharpest dressed man in the room. I love it.
And Mario says, wow. Mario asked, how many were you able to search before they stopped you, Tracy?
I think it was around 600. That's what I gathered. So, but that was not just doing searches. I was doing other things and looking for first connections, and then going into groups and looking for members in the groups. And, it wasn't just looking and using the filters to find my audience in there. So okay. I just put it this way, I exhausted it in 2 days.
Wow. You were busy.
I was busy. That's right.
Yeah. So this is, I'm going to respond to this, what Mario is saying. So he says, no, please get into it. I have a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn, especially Sales Navigator. So yeah, I do too. And I do want to know more, but I'm wondering, I'm going to ask you, Tracy, would you mind coming on in maybe about a week or two or whenever you're available to go a little bit deeper? Is that something that you would be willing to do, just to talk a little bit more of what's available? Because what I want to do is keep this particular podcast in the just like get on LinkedIn and start to kind of look around and make some of the changes you've already told me to change on my LinkedIn. Would that be possible to bring you on another time?
Come on, you're talking to somebody who likes to talk. Did you really just ask me that question?
As long as we don't talk about the Raiders, because I've never been a great Raiders fan.
Don't dog on my Raiders.
Well, we're both single, but I don't know how that relationship would work out, considering I'm not a Raiders fan.
Well, I'll put it this way. My ex-husband and my children are Chiefs fans, so I've already lived in a divided family all along, so it's all right. I know how to live peacefully.
Well, good. Now this whole conversation completely threw off to my next question. Oh, how intuitive now is LinkedIn? I think part of the reason why I wasn't a huge LinkedIn fan in the beginning is just that for me, again, I'm not that intelligent. I was a cop for 21 years. I failed, first grade. But I'm wondering how many improvements they've made to make it a little bit easier to navigate through and use. Is that one of the changes they made, or do we need to hire somebody to do it for us?
Well, I think if you get in there and you start using it, it's easy to navigate. But I will tell you, I've been on here every single day for years. And when they made those new updates to the profile last year, I got stumped and I stumbled. And that's okay. Even the expert stumbles. And they're rolling out some changes. I don't think they're doing a complete overhaul with the profiles, but I've seen some changes with it. Some I like so far what I've seen, but we'll see. But I think their goal is to try. Folks are having a hard time trying to find where to go add their projects or the honors and awards certifications and things like that, because they lumped them all under accomplishments. And if you're not in there every day like me, you're just like going, where the heck is this stuff?
Yep.
So I think that's one of the improvements that they're trying to do.
I make the mistakes of watching a couple of YouTube videos or listening to a couple maybe Facebook Live, some other, and that's how these changes happen to my LinkedIn. I didn't just make that crap up, right? Something I was watching said, hey, put what it is you do as your last name, and that way it's in the bolder letters and people can see it. And then I talked to you, who I trust way more than probably that person on YouTube that I don't know, and say that no, they're not going to search for Andy Falco, speaker, legendary person when they're searching for you, which makes total sense now. It's common sense.
Well, I just think there's more opportunity to add your keywords throughout the whole profile than to stuff it every single place. I still see that this gentleman is teaching, and I went and looked at his profile incognito, by the way. I didn't want him to know I was checking him out. So I went and looked at him, like everything was just stuffed. And he's preaching and how you can do this and gain all this profile visibility. And I think it reminds me back in the day when Google started slapping people who were keyword stuffing their articles and their websites. And so I don't know. I do more direct outreach and do more activity in LinkedIn than, to get found organically. I do get found organically because people see my stuff and I'm busy in there and I'm a power user. But I just think there's a right way to do it instead of keyword stuffing. To me, that's not my professional brand, and I don't want to portray myself that way.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents on that. But if somebody wants to add that, I got a client who insists on putting that behind her name because she heard it from some other guru. And I said, totally up to you. I'm sharing you my thoughts. You take it from here.
It does make sense. Mario asks, have you ever been stopped for maxing out on Sales Navigator?
No, never. Have you? Because I've been suspended before in LinkedIn, but not because of Sales Navigator. You're allowed to use Sales Navigator as much as you want.
Okay. Mario also says or asks, third-party software Chrome extensions, have any that you love and are your favorite?
Well, Mario will tell me it's not Sales Navigator. Well, I'll answer that in just a second. It's not Sales Navigator that's stopping you, but I think, LinkedIn is keeping track of your activity. And so there are certain thresholds that you should, be aware of so that you don't run the risk of getting your account suspended. So like if you're trying to send out 1,000 connections a day, in a matter of a couple of days, you're getting suspended. I don't care who you are, So, got to keep it, fly under the radar a little bit. But believe me, I mean, you don't need to have that much activity in order to, create great money or generate a bunch of leads in LinkedIn. So third-party software. Yeah. Oh, Mario, guess what just happened? LinkedIn is cracking down on this stuff. As a matter of fact, one of my clients, I get in their profile and start working on it, and I get this pop-up before I can move forward and log into his account. Says, we noticed that you are using this such and such Chrome extension, and this is against our terms of service. Please be aware by clicking this, you agree to disable this Chrome extension before you can use LinkedIn. I was like, whoa, they're onto these guys. Well, they think that they're data scraping, and these softwares, they don't data scrape. It's hard to do that. LinkedIn took that away a couple years ago. You can't even see second degree connections information anymore. You can't see their email addresses or anything like that. You have to be connected to them. I do like them. I've used all of them at some point in time. I just say, be careful. They'll probably slap you on the wrist the first time, and you'll have to verify your information with a passport or a driver's license, and wait 3 or 4 days, and then, then do it again. But I also have software that is on my desktop that does not run in a Chrome extension. And so far they've been pretty good, but it's not cheap. So it has, I love a lot of what Chrome extensions and desktop software can do, and all of them have their limitations. So that's why I always, I've used a combination of a few of them based on what it is that I want to do. But I'm not going crazy with it because I know my limitations in LinkedIn. So I keep my LinkedIn account healthy.
Yeah, that really is a good discussion because there's so much stuff out there on the internet, web-based programs, downloadable software, and none of them all really seem to do everything you need, right? Even when we were with Mike Koenig's back in the day of Traffic Geyser and Instant Customer, that kind of stuff, some of them did almost everything we needed, but not everything. So we had to get Webinar Jam, or we had to get, Mail Monkey, what was that called? Mail Monkey or MailChimp? Mail Monkey. MailChimp, for autoresponders, and now you got ManyChat, and there's like all these tools, and after a while you just go, gosh, what is it that I really truly need, and what do I don't need? And now you have extensions and things that we're talking about now. It really, that's really a good question to kind of come back to every so often to see what is it that we really need? What do we no longer need? We talked about LiveLeap and how you hated your experience with LiveLeap. I like LiveLeap for certain things, but their customer service is the worst on the planet. And so there's a lot of stuff that we could kind of go deeper in, I think, on a whole nother broadcast that would take us about an hour.
Yeah, you know what? I think for most folks using LinkedIn, doing this manually, they still can accomplish what I accomplish with some smart automation in 30 to 45 minutes a day.
Okay, cool. Roy Montero mentions that, who do I trust? Trust agents. Word of mouth people are best for trust. He's always good for these little one-liners. If you don't know Roy Montero, you should, because he has a one-liner for just about everything. You can fill an entire LinkedIn just his one-liners.
Okay, what do you mean by trust agent? What does that mean?
I'm sure he'll have an answer. We just give him some time. All right. Pages, 1,000 people in parentheses there, to access the full list when you get a search with 3,000, 7,000, 17,000 for your target niche. So I have no idea what that question means, and I know what it means.
Yeah, okay. Not possible, Mario. LinkedIn is going to show you, based off your search and your filters, all your results, but they're only really going to show you the first 1,000 of them. And then here's the kicker with LinkedIn. So let's say that you save that search and then you come back to it later. Guess what? Those people that your first search are not in order. They will be in a different order, which really sucks. So if you're trying to just get through the first, 25 pages, I think that is, or 50 pages if 25 results per page, that equals 1,000, right? I think so. Then, I mean, you go back tomorrow and do the same search, all those folks are going to be in a different order. So my suggestion is to really refine that search even further so you hit that 1,000 mark. And then save those links. You can save them in Sales Navigator, but I would also go in and save those the URLs in a spreadsheet somewhere so you can kind of try and dive in. You're not going to get to every single person in LinkedIn, I promise you. Even with some of your searches, for example, they may be actually in more than one industry. I don't know how that happens, but your search is only as good as what somebody adds to their profile. So. And that's unfortunate. So that's how we search, based on what's in someone's profile. So like, for example, I had a referral a couple years ago from a client, and she was out of Dallas, and she was a CEO of some firm. And he's like, yeah, they make, $25 million a year. And I went into LinkedIn, and by her profile, you would have no idea. She didn't have a company page, and they had like 7 employees. Didn't have a clue. Had no clue whatsoever, that they were making that kind of money. So again, you're only as good as what somebody, adds to their profile. Best thing I can just say is try and refine that search as much as possible. I will say that 17,000 people are active in that search. I like to go to the carousel on Sales Navigator and start with the people that have been active the last 30 days. That's my goal.
I would not be on that carousel. But
people aren't active in the last 30 days. They will still connect with you. They just don't write posts or articles or engage in any way, but they'll hang around and they'll watch your activity, but they won't, engage with it. So.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I mean, my interest is often what happens in how we have these shows, right? And so I know, based on everything that's going on with Facebook and the rest of the social media world, and that's why LinkedIn is probably making many of its changes, but you do need to make sure that you're not just stuck in one social media platform, that you have to be, prepared that if something were to happen, that you are going to be able to, do that somewhere else. And LinkedIn seems to be one of those places.
Yeah, but not only that, think about this too. The goal with LinkedIn is to get them off of LinkedIn. Any social media platform, you don't own that platform. So it was last year, and LinkedIn got the big news all over it. They decided to take away the feature where you could actually export your connections, your first connections. And then there was a huge uproar, and then they brought it back. Well, guys, they might take that away again. So you need to go, if you got a great network right now, go export all those connections before. I mean, you do it weekly until, they take that feature away. We all know with social media, that they're going to add features, they're going to take away features, and you can have a pity party for 30 minutes, and then you've got to step up and just say, okay, I just got to deal with what I have, what they give me.
Okie dokie. Yeah. It's
pity parties, lots of pity parties. I like want to throw my computer across the room kind of pity parties with LinkedIn. So especially when they change the algorithm in the news feed. Oh, mad as a mad hatter.
Yeah. So, those are always, those mess with me all the time too. And I'm not on LinkedIn, but in Facebook. Because I have so many third-party apps that I've been using, and they're great ones. Like 22 Social is a great third-party app, and Repurposed.io is another great third-person party. And every time there's a change on Facebook, it jacks something up, and so it's always a headache that we have to deal with. And that's one thing we have to get used to. People, we're going to be doing this for as long as you have this industry. I'm not sure how to explain it to anybody. People get all crazy, like, "Oh my God, they're changing this." All right, they changed it.
I think I wrote an article about a little over a month ago, and I was mad. We were talking about the newsfeed because I got tagged in a post, and I kind of used that as inspiration to write this article. And I said, "Yeah, I had my pity party for 5 minutes. No, wait, it was more like a half an hour. No, it was 30 days."
All right. Well, Roy Montero answered the question. People who you trust to give you good people to follow. Trust agent.
People who you trust to give you good people. I don't know what his question is, though.
It's not a question.
Yeah,
Just make it.
I'm missing something. Okay.
Agent is the who you need to follow. So you would be my trust agent in regard to LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. One,
Sometimes you have to explain some of Roy's little quips.
Well, I like to make fun of myself. If I act the part, I got to look the part. So I got to go.
I did have a few blonde jokes written here, but I decided not to.
Go right ahead. Not offended.
So one of the questions I want to get to before we end this particular one, because we talked about a lot of stuff, and I want to make sure and let you know that I definitely would love to have you back so we can hone in on just maybe one or two subjects and really kind of deal with those a little bit. And that would be great, because we talked about, the paid versus the free, we just got as far as my name, as far as what to change on we didn't even get anywhere else. And so, but I think that's important, right? To understand a little bit of the stuff that's available. And now we're going to come back and maybe kind of hone in on some stuff. But I want to talk about articles, because articles seem, I think, to be a really important thing to do within LinkedIn. That's one of the, is that like a post on Facebook, or is it more?
It's like a blog on your profile. Okay. I guess that would be the simplest way to describe it. So these live on your profile. Another reason why you want your profile to, be awesome and not look like some stale resume, right? And so you want to use it as a sales and marketing tool, because look, if you write a great article and let's say you're promoting it and someone sees it, or somebody in your network shares it and brings people back to your article, they're also going to go back to your profile. But articles are a great way, just like with any other content. And that's what LinkedIn calls the long form post. And then there's the short form post, and that's actually the news feed. And so I love articles. I don't always drink my own Kool-Aid, but I think articles have been, a saving grace for me. My first one after I got the burns, I wrote an article in October 2015. This is when LinkedIn still had what they call the editorial calendar. So you didn't have to be the creative and try to come up with a subject to write about. LinkedIn gave you the subject that they wanted you to write about. And so I did, and it went viral, and wow, it was great. Now I've not had another article go viral since, but I will tell you, my articles, I don't need to go viral in order to generate, lots of business out of them. It's the way that I promote them that fortifies me as that expert and that trust agent.
Yeah.
And so,
nice job.
people will come in and they'll message me and go, hey, I want to get on the phone. I want to do a consultation with you. So like the article I did in end of February, it wasn't one of my best performing articles. And I wrote it in an hour, and I just sent it out to a few hundred of my first connections, and I didn't even email my list. I didn't email my list at all. And I ended up with 9 consultations and 3 podcasts out of it. And then I closed some of that business out of those consultations too.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's fantastic. So the book that I wrote, LinkedIn Publishing to Profits, talks about this. And I have a case study in there. It talks about my good friend and colleague, Bob Lovely, and how he used publishing and leveraged it for his executive coaching practice and generated himself 6 figures. Had he not gotten sick, he said this year he would have probably generated over $200,000 part-time, just publishing, not doing all the other crap that I do in LinkedIn, just publishing, just Gmail. And he only has 1,800 connections. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get to work on my LinkedIn profile and writing some articles. And that's the one thing I just posted. Mario talk. I had mentioned Repurpose.io. I use that. It's a fantastic tool. If you're not using it and you're doing Facebook Lives and you're not using Repurpose to send your Facebook Live video, it'll repurpose it and send it to YouTube automatically. You don't have to download it and then upload it to YouTube. It does it automatically. It sends it also to my Dropbox. It sends it to my Google Drive, so I can use it in other things. I can from my Dropbox, I can put it into my Kajabi platforms as posts within a Kajabi product. It also takes a podcast, a audio podcast. And once you get done with your audio podcast, it automatically sends it to your Facebook page as a video, so it can be posted as a video post. and has little graphics that move, and that's what makes it a video. And so Repurpose does all that for you. I put the link in the comment section.
Oh, good. See, you learn something new every day.
So that brings me to what I was just going to say before we talk about what it is that how people get a hold of you and that kind of stuff. And that repurposing your book is that you wrote. Did you repurpose your book and make articles about it and put it on LinkedIn, or is there anything that you've done that allows you to repurpose?
Actually, I'm going to. I'm going to do like little bits and parts of the series of the book. Like I was going to write one. Actually, it's already written until I got a new inspiration last Friday to do something first, which I think I already talked to you about with LinkedIn and ManyChat.
Yep. I was not going to even say anything because I thought maybe it was a secret.
Nah, it's not a secret.
Okay.
But it's a secret on how I'm going to do it.
All right.
No, but no, it's so I've got it written, but I'm going to take, snippets of the book and then, use that to get people into my sales funnel with the book and stuff. So that's kind of my call to action is at the end of the article. But we did this for Ed Rush, and Ed, what book was it? Take the Shot, I believe. And he had some great headlines, man. How to beat a MiG 9 and still make it home for dinner. And all he did is took chapters out of his book and repurposed that as articles. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. People love that stuff.
Yeah, repurposing your stuff is one of the best and most important things you can do because it just saves you time, right? If you are let's say a chiropractor, as a chiropractor, you're not necessarily a writer, right? You're not a podcaster, you're not a video creator, but if you're going to take the time to do some of these things, might as well find a way to repurpose them and do it effectively. Repurpose.io is one of those ways, and then having your secretary, transcribe it, or rev.com or something like that. But
Love Rev. Yeah. I hate sitting down and writing. I'm absolutely allergic to it, which is really kind of an oxymoron that I wrote a book about writing. so, but I really hate it that Rev has been a saving grace because a lot of times I'll get some inspiration for something and I'll just speak into my phone and then go get it transcribed.
I found another one.
It's Timmy. They have another one. It's called Timmy. And it's only 10 cents a minute. That you can use videos or whatever, audio on there, and it does a decent job. But I still like Rev better because I don't like editing myself.
Yeah, yeah. I just downloaded Otter. Also, Otter is another platform for that kind of thing. It seems to be working pretty good. I just downloaded it, so I'm not able to recommend it yet. But I've heard, I've heard, yeah, OTTER. I've heard really. Mike Koenig's actually is the one who recommended it to me. Derek Connors, before we leave, this is a great statement. I am going to have to unfollow you. I get sucked into these lives and get nothing done on my own work. LOL. Keep up the good work. Great info. So that's the best. I mean, I'm going to point at it like this because April Roga, who we're doing
great compliment right there.
Yeah, great testimonial. All right. So, wow, I felt like we kind of jumped all over the place, but I think it gives us a good start, a good place to start, so that on a future one we can kind of hone in on really kind of digging deeper into what my profile should look like. So it's kind of a sneaky way to get you to work for me without paying you.
We just discussed this right before we went on here about people paying. Right, did we?
I know. How should people get a hold of you? Where do they need to go? What do they need to do?
First of all, heck, man, just go over to LinkedIn, Tracey Enos. That's Enos for those you don't. If you have a problem, remember this. This is my tagline. If you're a Cardinals fan, St. Louis Cardinals fan, Enos Slaughter. If you're a Dukes of Hazzard fan, then it's Enos Dukes of Hazzard. So spelled the same way. I'm also in my fatigues. Well, not my fatigues, but in an army jacket, so you know it's me. So they'll connect with me and tell them that you saw me on Andy's podcast.
How do I grab your link to share in the comment section from LinkedIn?
So when you go to my profile,
I'm there now.
Okay, on the right hand side, it'll say contact info.
Hold on, let me share that so people can see what I'm doing, just in case they want to do it. All right, so back to LinkedIn. Where am I? There we are.
Okay, so now it says right hand side. It says show more, contact information, personal, and show more. Ta-da!
Oh,
My
look at that.
new
Copy link address, go back to broadcast, scroll down, and cut and paste. All right, it's in the comment section.
Good. And then for those of you who haven't gotten my book yet, Publishing to Profits, just go to that website, publishingtoprofits.com. I had a little faux pas with CreateSpace and KDP. That goes straight to the KDP, the Kindle version. So I'm trying to get CreateSpace to put them together. So if you wanted to order paperback or whatever, but if you guys, hey, if you order the Kindle, I don't care. I'm not out for the royalties. If you order the Kindle, send me a message in LinkedIn and I'll give you the PDF.
Nice. Can I ask you a question about the title, Publishing to Profit, right?
Publishing to Profits. Yeah.
Publishing to Profits. Did Mike say anything about your title?
No, actually, he knows all about it. He thought that was great.
Okay. I saw it long ago and I thought about it for a second, then kind of forgot about it. But I'm glad you said the title because I always wanted to ask you. I said, I wonder if Mike.
Well, it was funny because it's called LinkedIn Publishing. What am I supposed to say? I mean, but my subtitle is completely different. Completely. So.
All right, very cool. Okay, your LinkedIn profile is in the comment section. Let me just make sure. Yep. It's really long. It didn't copy in the same way. Should I have cut off all the extra stuff?
There shouldn't be any extra stuff in there. It's just.
See all that?
Yeah, I don't know how you did that.
I don't know either. I just copied. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back here because I just copied what it says there. Hold on.
It should be.
Let me just copy. I think I said I copied the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, I copied the link address and
not just the
words. There we go. All right. Disregard the other one. The other one might still work, but this one looks a lot prettier. There it is. Yeah, that's all right. It's good now. Here it is. I'll show you just so you can approve it. Is that the right one?
Yep, that's it.
All right. So just follow that link. You'll get in touch with Tracy, and you know your stuff. And I know we just barely scratched the surface on this interview. And I appreciate your time. I love the new hairdo.
Thank you. Blonde.
You know, when she started, she had the camera down, so we only saw part of that hairdo. So I said, "Come on, let's see the hair. If you're gonna take the time and spend the money on having that done, you got to show it off. Looks fantastic."
Thank you.
I'm just sad that you like the Raiders. That's the only thing that makes me a little upset.
Well, I like the Golden State Warriors. Does that help?
No, not at all. Nothing. Northern California is another country.
But that's where I grew up.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So are you a San Diego fan?
I love San Diego Chargers. I love the Rams. I loved the Rams, and then they moved. So then I had to become even more of a Chargers fan. So now I just split my time between the Raiders and the Rams.
Well, I don't know who's going to Las Vegas. It's either going to be the Raiders or the Chargers. So I'm not really quite sure what's going on there.
I kind of hope it's the Chargers because I love the Chargers so much. I want them to have their own identity. It's going to be tough here to have. I mean, we didn't have any team for 20-something years, right? And now we have two teams. It's the craziest thing. But I'm a hockey fan anyway, so who really cares? Don't say you're a Sharks fan. Don't even say that. Don't even be Sharks fan. I won't even be able to. I'll have to find another LinkedIn expert if you're a Sharks fan.
I'm a Sharks fan.
Forget that. Now I'm going to have you come back on just to irritate you.
I don't follow hockey anyway, so it's all right. No worries.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Roy and Nabi, and I'm going to miss some people. I know Derek and the great Super Mario that came on. I think I already said Nabi, and all the other folks that have joined us. So we had quite the following, a lot of comments, a lot of emotions or reactions that were done. So I appreciate that. Make sure and share the Facebook Live TV show to your friends who may be entrepreneurs or people that are interested in doing Facebook Lives. Tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewing somebody who created Binge, which is an app that goes on 50 different networks. So it'll go on Apple TV, going on Roku. It goes on all of the smart televisions. She created an app that you can now have your own TV show on that app. And I'm also going to bring on the Hani, who is the creator of Repurposed.io. Together, they're teaming up so that when you get your Facebook Live repurposed, for instance, and it goes into your Dropbox, it will then upload directly onto your Binge TV channel. So it'll go right there. So again, it does it all automatically. You have to do nothing. You hit end on the broadcast and all this magic starts. All right. So you're going to want to not miss that if you want to learn how to repurpose your stuff and even have your own TV show on 50 different television networks. It's going to be a good show. Not as good as this one because Tracy's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Randy.
Tomorrow because I'll tell them that they're fantastic.
Thank
All right,
you.
Tracy. I miss seeing you. We got to get together and hang out.
All right. Bye.
All right. Take care. Thanks, everybody. Bye.